Hey, this is Janice and Kevin. We're here at Uluru in Central Australia, aka the Red Centre, and we're going to show you how much we spent throughout our 3-day visit. But before we can start exploring the national park, there are a few costs we need to get out of the way. You can drive or catch a flight to Uluru. We drove from Adelaide, which is 1,600 kilometers away, so we broke this drive across a few days. We spent roughly $400 on diesel fuel to get here at $3 a litre, which is quite standard in fuel price when you're in outback Australia. Next, you need to purchase a National Park Pass, which costs $38 per person for 3 days, or $50 for an annual pass. There are a few ways to get to Uluru National Park from the campground. You can drive yourself or catch a shuttle bus, which costs $49 per person for a return ticket. There's a few types of accommodation you can choose from. We chose a campground as it was the cheapest at $60 a night.
So one thing we didn't realise beforehand is that the campground, which is part of Ayers Rock Resort, basically makes up the town of Yulara. The resort is basically Yulara, and Yulara is the resort, and the whole place is just a monopoly. It's made up of accommodation lodgings including the campground, cabins, budget-style rooms and luxury hotel rooms. There's restaurants, cafes, shops, a grocery store and a petrol station. And Yulara is located about 25 minutes from Uluru itself. Now let's talk activities and how much they cost. There are a number of free activities you can do at the resort, including a bush food experience, didgeridoo demonstrations, garden walks with an Indigenous guide, and an astronomy documentary.
But which grubs are their normal names?
The intrigue of a puzzle that cries out to be solved. This is what the sky would look like if we could see the radio wave.
Finger lime marmalade.
It's really sour.
Is it sour?
It's really sour.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
The bush food experience was our favourite, and we learnt so much about the different local foods the Indigenous people ate, including honey ants, witchetty grubs, bush plums, tomatoes and desert quandong, which is like a wild Australian peach. Of course, walking around Uluru is also free, and there are even free ranger guided tours every morning. We spent most of our second day there walking around the base, appreciating the cool natural formations in the rock, discovering waterholes and looking at rock art.
I expected Uluru to be like a complete desert and sand, but low-key feels like a national park. Low-key feels like a rainforest.
We also did a grocery shop at the local IGA, which was surprisingly well stocked with fruit, veggies, and even Kevin's favourite Korean instant ramen. To save costs, we try to cook and pack most of our meals.
Oh my god, you're eating it under your net. Oh, there's so many flies. This is ridiculous. Do you want to show us what's in the sandwich?
Tomato and salami. Onion, I think. I know this looks a little strange, but it's rice, white rice, with this sort of fusion of a Mexican chili and pasta. Tomato, minced meat, lentils, and onions. It's delicious.
First night here at Ayers Rock Campground, and they do this buffet here, and it's quite funny because we're like in the middle of Australia, right? Like in the middle of nowhere basically. So we're gonna check out what food they have. Okay, so it costs $100 per person. So apparently they might have like some oysters and some seafood. I don't know how they bring it over here, but let's go check it out. The buffet is called Ilkari. So I just commented to Janice that, oh, you look nice. I didn't really say you look nice yet, but I said you look dressed up. Meanwhile, she's got about 1,000 flies around her. Beautiful day. We were curious to see what kind of buffet it is and if it's worth going there for $99 per person. I guess being in the middle of Australia, far from any major cities, we didn't expect how nice and modern this buffet is as soon as we entered.
Which buffet we made? This one?
Yeah,
Okay.
that one.
So we have three choices. We have a creamy pesto, bolognese, and napolitan.
Pesto.
Yeah.
I personally love pasta, and I was super impressed that there's a chef in the middle of the buffet serving basically a build your own pasta. Sardo. Only vegan, but we'll give it a go. Barramundi. Normally leave the bread till last, but this focaccia looks epic. Super soft. Salad. One of each first. Couscous. It's a Thai beef salad. I like a good Thai beef salad. And then just your standard Greek. This plate.
Oh, okay.
Salmon.
I don't want this one.
Making a little sandwich. Oh, so little butter. We'll try the pasta noodle with the pesto, with the chili and chili flakes and cheese. The noodles are a little bit on the softer end because I already cooked the noodles and they're blanching it again. The pesto is very light. There's a pork asado. The pork's really meaty, high quality pork. It's a bit like an Asian soy sauce, sort of sweet and sour flavour. Next is a barramundi. The flesh is really thick. It's really chewy, like meaty. Sort of like chicken. After the first plate, it was time for the real deal and try out the variety of meat. They had cooked lamb chops, scotch fillet and lamb steaks that the chef cuts and serves you. The dessert was a highlight. Such an unexpected delight to see so many different varieties of desserts to choose from. Can't say no to tiramisu. Wow, for a buffet in Yulara, which is basically where Uluru is, $99 per person. Surprisingly, it was really good. Oh man, that pork, let's go out this way. Man, the atmosphere, the food quality, the service, everything was like spot on. The pork, actually, that lamb that the chef cuts for you is so fresh, it's so tender. That's got to be one of the best I've had. What was your favorite?
Oysters.
Hey, considering that we're in like the middle of Australia, the seafood was actually really good.
On our last day, we really splurged on one activity, a $200 per person sunrise breakfast. And even though this was really expensive, in our opinion, it was worth it.
Morning. Last day here at Uluru, and we booked this package. It was about $220 per person, so they come pick you up at your accommodation or campground, wherever you are, at 6 a.m. and then they bring you here to the desert. It's called Desert Awakening. Apparently they got food ready for us and we watch the sunrise, and then we go to the Uluru Rock guide as well. Let's see what it's all about.
We got picked up in the morning from our campsite in a shuttle bus, which took us along a dirt road to a private sunrise viewing deck. Thank God there were gas heaters and a fire going when we arrived, because the desert morning was freezing. We had a private chef who laid out our breakfast, which included damper with honey, bacon and egg rolls, crispy warm hash browns, fruit, muesli, tea and coffee.
Oh, fresh. First time having a damper. This with the maple syrup on top. Oh, so crunchy.
And there was even a bottle of sriracha sauce that we put on everything.
Oh, bacon and egg with some sriracha.
Loaded hash brown.
Take a bite. Good is the bread? How good is the sriracha?
The bread is fresh. Hash brown, crunchy, soft. Sriracha surprisingly quite welcoming. Bacon, egg, hash brown, sriracha, fresh bread. What? How could it go wrong?
It's not much. After seeing the sunrise and enjoying our breakfast, we hopped back into the shuttle for a guided tour around the base of Uluru. Up until a few years ago, we used to be the kind of people who were pretty against doing tours and just discovering places on our own. But now, depending on where we are, we try to join a tour because we end up learning so much. For example, for many of the interesting rock formations we had seen on the face of Uluru the day before, our guide told us that they were significant to a lot of stories told by the local indigenous people. There were stories about hunting and what was right and wrong. The waterholes we had seen were places animals would naturally gather, and so were hunting locations. And the rock art we had seen in the caves were at times like classrooms for children. So in that sense, Uluru holds a lot of cultural significance for the indigenous people. And all of this over 6 hours for $200, I think it was really worth the money.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Travelling to Uluru can be costly, even if you choose the cheapest transportation like a camper van, but the experience was unforgettable and definitely worth visiting. We're posting a video every Sunday, so we'll catch you next week for another juicy episode.